the fourth and final episode of this 4-part series. We've been going through the 4 things that high achieving women like you need to be doing on the daily. When I say daily, I mean consistently, that it's always something on your mind. As an entrepreneur, you always have something on your mind, right? And it most likely is that list of things to do. But I want to show you today that you can forget about those list of things you have to do. And instead, let's highlight and bring these 4 things to be something that's always on your mind. That's where you're going to have freedom and momentum in your business. So instead of just that constant list of things you should be doing and have to do, we're going to bring that down here and bring up the 4 things that high achieving women do on the daily. So let's recap. First, it's defining success. If you haven't listened to these episodes, go back and dig in. Make sure you're downloading the free mini journal from my website, Coach Amber B, the 4 things that high achieving women do on the daily, so that you have the deeper questions that are on this freebie for you to journal through this week. You're going to get the most out of this free resource here. So that first week, there was questions for you to answer, to go through and define what success means to you, and letting go of the thought that it has to be something that someone else thinks it should be. It's you. You have a unique set of values, and you determine what success is to you. And when you do that to-do list we talked about that we're going to bring down here so you're not thinking about it all the time, it gets smaller. You may have a long list of things to do, but it highlights what needs to be done, what's most important, what your needle mover is, what your priorities are, so that everything else falls away and you don't feel so much pressure. We're defining success to you. Then the second episode, we talked about your momentum hour and working with your body, not against it. And I have loved hearing from you when you work best. I love seeing on Instagram when you tag me, please do at Coach Amber B, when you're working during your momentum hour. It's summer right now in Minnesota. These months in the summer in Minnesota, we just go all in. We want to be at the pool. We want to be outside. And so I have limited work hours in the summer, and I've set up my business to be able to continue to grow and thrive and support you and clients through these 3 months while I'm with my kids at the pool. And knowing that I have limited hours, and during those hours, I've set them up around my momentum hour, around what success looks like to me, which to me personally means being able to give 100% to you to help you be able to grow your business in a way that honors your personal life while also honoring mine. That's my ultimate goal for you. And when we are focusing on momentum hours, like I am this summer, I'm able to get more done in less time. There's a lot of clients I've worked with have a full-time job and they're a mom and they're starting a new business. There's limited hours. But ultimately, if you're working 1 hour each day in your momentum hour versus trying to work all day in little bits and pieces of time and not being fully focused and being frustrated, you're going to get way more done in that 1 hour. So we talked about finding your momentum hour. If you haven't listened to that second episode of this series, go back and listen to that one. Download the resource so you can start digging in and finding when your momentum hour is. And last week, we talked about getting ridiculously specific about what you want to do and giving you the permission and freedom to know that your business, your likes and dislikes are going to evolve as you grow. And your business should grow and evolve in the same way as you do. Now it's time to put everything into place and make a plan. When we decided what success means to you, it was determining that destination, putting that destination in the navigation system before you put the car in drive. And now today is time to put the car in drive with a plan. Most clients come to me wanting a plan. I've heard so many times, I just want to get my ducks in a row. I want to get organized. I want to know what I'm doing. Some clients want this direction of a plan so badly and they thrive in a plan. Now, you may be one of them, or maybe you're on the other side of the spectrum. I have some clients who want the direction of a plan. They want to feel more freedom, but they really want something flexible because they want to feel free. This is how I am. I love a plan. I have to have a plan, but it has to be flexible because I don't like to feel restrained in a plan. I need to feel really flexible and free. So I want you to know today when we're talking about plans, no matter how you feel about the word plan, know that there are many different versions, many different ways to apply a plan. You can make it as specific or as loose as you need, but ultimately you need a plan. The word plan, by definition, means to have an intention or a decision about what one is going to do. And when you decide what you're going to do, what happens is now you're free to stop thinking about it. As a business owner, I know your business is on your brain 24/7. My favorite piece of feedback from a client when we created her 90-day plan together was that she said her plan allowed her to forget about her to-do list. Could you imagine what that would be like to be fully present and know that each step that you're taking and moving your business towards success is all planned out for you? And you know it doesn't have to all happen at once. And you don't have to be constantly creating and looking at your to-do list because it's all there for you. You know when you're doing it and what you're doing. You can forget about your to-do list. That's freedom. That's freedom with momentum. That's strategy with self-care right there. We're going to imagine this scenario. Let's say you're on the Food Network challenge. There's a new challenge that they made, a new show, let's pretend, and say that you're given a challenge to cook a 6-course meal for celebrity judges. That's it. But they don't tell you when the meal is going to be, what the details are. So most likely you've been given this challenge. You don't know the details, but you want to succeed. You're a high achieving woman, right? So likely you're going to get to work. You're going to push and push until it's done. You're going to think constantly about the details, wondering whether or not it's right or wrong. Now let's flip that script and imagine they gave you the same challenge, but they told you that the 6-course meal would be at 5:00 on Saturday, a week from now, and you have 4 hours a day in the kitchen to work on it. Now you feel a lot less stressed, right? It's the same end goal, but you have relief and freedom and knowing there's a plan. You know when the plan needs to be completed by, and you know when you're going to work on it. That's what's possible with a plan. If you haven't yet, make sure to download the free mini journal, 4 things that high achieving women do on the daily. And I share my favorite way on that journal on how to plan out a project. That also gives you space in the journal to map out what your first step is. Planning in a way that honors your momentum hour and your version of success and your specific focus. See how it's all coming together? When you plan like this, it's the key to momentum. And this is exactly what we work through in Momentum Restart CEO Accelerator. The key to a good plan is to give it enough time. If you switch your plan around every 5 minutes, you're not going to get anywhere. You really won't get anywhere. I've told the story so many times on here of when my husband and I would play the game Battleship. When we were first married, we'd play Battleship or Yahtzee before bed. And every time we'd start playing Battleship, I would have a strategy in my head and we'd start playing. And then I would start getting nervous, like, oh, I'm not going to win. So I just switched my strategy. And I never won until I decided I'm going to try to just pick one strategy and stick with it for the whole game. See what happens. And then I won every single game, so much so that Mike didn't want to play with me anymore. That's what happens when you stick with your plan. So I encourage you to stick with your plan for 90 days and then evaluate, adjust, and stick with that version for 90 days. That's momentum. This is what's possible in the Momentum Restart CEO Accelerator. We kick off the month planning your next 90 days and dig into your CEO strategy that prioritizes CEO self-care so that you can be effective and efficient and productive in your business and enjoy your life too.